I created a growth plug duplicate content analysis document, and I just wanted to spend a quick minute or two to review it with you on video. I'll go back in and add the video start times, but obviously as I'm recording it now, I really don't know what they are. So you'll be able to go back and just easily skip to the section that you want to review. The websites that I use for the comparison are a DG Silver client, Delaware County Dental. They went live sometime last year. And then 3 growth plug clients, existing growth plug clients that Kim was good enough to give me. They were former DG clients, right? So I thought it would be a good comparison to see what they gave up and what they got in return. Growth Plug's basic argument is that their service pages are custom written and unique. And based on this, they're better. I believe that unique doesn't mean better. It doesn't mean good or comprehensive. It simply means that the words cannot be found in that order on any other page on the internet. Putting words in a blender will create a unique page, but does it say something unique? They're the same basic dental concepts and words, just about any service. They're just in a unique order. Is that page any better? No. And let me prove it with the former 3 DG clients that canceled and went to Growth Plug. So the only page that these 3 clients had similar on their website was dental implants. So I used that for the comparison. So here you'll see it's Osana, Smile Fresh, Osana, and New Image Dentistry. And they have varying lengths, right? But a single page of dental implant content. And when you compare that to what DG does, we have 12 comprehensive pages on the topic of dental implants, right? So 1 versus 3. Let's take a look at the stats. So with Growth Plug, they have a single page of content. There are no images. There are no blog links. And the average 502 words, right? So the 3, they're varying length, averaging 502 words. With DG, we have 12 dental implant pages. And why is that, right? Because when you're going for dental implants, you're not always at the same place throughout the journey, right? You start out with, am I a candidate, as you're starting to think about what they are, and you want to read about dental implants and things like that because you're considering the service, right? You're very early funnel, if you will. As you progress down, what are the questions you should ask? Who does it? Tell me about the procedure. Once you've had the procedure, what's the post-op care? Maybe a few years later from that, you might need a restoration, right? So one page just has an overview of what dental implants are. For us, we're able to address those very specific consumer needs, through the journey of their dental implant process. So we have on our page 12 full pages of content, 12 hero header images, whatever you want to call that image at the upper left-hand corner of the post or the page. 47 blog links, 63 frequently asked questions, 143 definitions, 36 content page navigation image links, right? So you can navigate via text or an image link. Combined total of 22,171 words of content, right? 502 versus 22,171 words. Growth Plug may argue that more words and content doesn't necessarily mean better. Those words may be all fluff and a bunch of filler. So what I did is I scraped the 4 different pages, the 3 Growth Plug clients and the DG client, only the content relative to dental implants, and I have the 4 text files right there. And I created a series of prompts for ChatGPT to allow it to use artificial intelligence in order to analyze the actual text that's being provided. So I said I was going to give it 4 pieces of content, and those were going to be named. So then I went through and I uploaded the content. Then I asked it a series of questions, right? What content or questions are explicitly answered in the various 4 pieces of content? And you'll see, so first one, 12 questions answered. Osuna, second one, 15 questions answered. What is it? New Image Dentistry, 7 questions answered. Then I went through and I asked the same thing of Dr. Genius, and obviously I had to make that very small because 82 questions answered, right? And it's just, the volume and the completeness of what we have done in answering very specific consumer-related questions, is borne out kind of in that analysis, right? So they kind of touch on a series of topics. I think some of them are even like their contact details, or one of the questions answered, So 82 versus, 17, I think was at a high. And then I asked it, okay, now considering those 4, what would be the best content for a general consumer interested in dental implants, right? And itemize why. So, not surprisingly, the content from Dr. Genius would benefit a general consumer interested in dental implants. And here's the specific reasons why. So it lists the reasons, then it goes on to, in summary, Dr. Genius offers a more holistic, detailed, and patient-centered approach in making it highly beneficial for general consumers seeking comprehensive information on dental implants, right? So when you're looking for an independent evaluation of our content, right? Artificial intelligence, apples to apples, their dental implant to our dental implant, we win kind of on every single metric. And then, you could go, hey, well, maybe they got a lot of content on dental implants. What about everything else, right? And do they just, hit the surface on that? No. So dentures, 14 pages. Invisalign, 10 pages. Cosmetic dentistry, 22 pages. General dentistry, 15 pages. Emergency dental issues, 12 pages. Informational pages, 33 pages, right? So we're going very much in depth on each one of these topics, right? So that regardless of where the consumer is, again, in their funnel, relative to the dental service, we're able to answer those questions in a very factual and helpful way. Now, with all those comprehensive pages that we have, whatever it is, 150, 170, depending on the client, that are deployed based on, the services that they offer, DG, let's see what those clients that left us with all those pages, what they got in return. So for Smile Fresh Dental, they got 8 custom written service pages. It's their whole site, 8 pages. Osuna Dental Care, they got 14 pages. They're the big winner in this. New Image Dentistry, they gave up all those pages and they got 7 custom written pages. Could you imagine that? So when you think about it, if you have clients that are considering Growth Plug, whether, intro or leaving us and going there, you have to ask them, do they believe that those websites can rank for keywords that are not present on their website, right? How many words are on those 7 pages for New Image Dentistry, right? So 3,500 words. There's got to be hundreds of words in the dental space that are not present on those 7 to 14 pages, right? And I don't believe you can rank for a word that's not on your website. So that's something to ask them. And do you think that 7 to 14 custom pages, 502 words each, will outperform 150 pages with on an average of 1,848 words? I just don't see it. They may believe it, but I just don't believe it. And, they just keep hammering on the duplicate content thing, but it's important to look at what Google has to say relative to duplicate content. So I went to their Search Central blog and I searched for duplicate content, and you can see the overwhelming majority of these are 2007, 2008, 2009. They're on the first page of search. There's nothing that's recent. There's no 2020 content. And the reason for that back then is because there were so many spammy techniques of SEOs at the time. And it's kind of hard to find a couple of examples. but here are just two. So back in the day, plumbers, in this case, auto rental, what they would do is they'd have this huge block at the bottom, which would list every single city along with the keyword that they were trying to rank for. Right? Clearly spammy. There's no benefit to a consumer. You're just trying to game the search engine. And every one of these would link to a duplicate set of content. It would have that city name at the top at the head. It would be the exact same. And I apologize to whoever's client this is. Somebody asked me to take a look at a link, and I found an example of that live now in an ortho client that came to us. And you'll see these 3 pages, they're identical content. The only thing different is going to be the city in the page. And, they got different pictures or whatever, but it's the exact same content. And there's no really legitimate reason for there to be 3 copies of the same content on a website, with the only difference being the city. I mean, it's intentionally there to game the search engines. And that's when Google's talking about duplicate content, that's the stuff that they're looking for, is the stuff that's intentionally malicious and spammy. Right? If I'm looking for a Honda Accord in Orange County, there's going to be literally hundreds, if not thousands, of Honda Accords for sale. They all have the same basic description, but that's okay because it's a consumer product and Google understands that. They're not just going to have one listing and everybody else is like hidden from the internet. If that was the case, I could do, 2025, 2026 Ford F-150 and then own that. Could you imagine Ford not being able to rank? It just doesn't make logical sense. So Google really has an understanding of consumer products and consumer services, and the fact that they're delivered on a local basis, and having that duplicated content, when it's beneficial to client or to consumers in that area, I just don't see that there's going to be any penalty or any hiding of it. So. And actually, they explicitly say there's no penalty for duplicate content, unless potentially for doing something like this, where it's intentionally malicious and trying to spam the search engines. So hopefully this overview has been helpful to you. Hopefully I gave you a couple of things in order to refute and to make our clients consider prior to a change, When I look at 7 pages for a website, I'm not sure why somebody would compare Growth Plug and think this is a viable option relative to us. So hopefully this has been helpful. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions about the content here or any other questions relative to duplicate content. I'd be happy to answer.